And we are back for episode 3, week 3 of the RO podcast. Just like usual, I got the two co-hosts, Charlie and Roxas. How's everyone doing?
Good, thank you. How are you two doing?
Uh, Hi, I'm doing alright. Doing good.
Yeah, pretty standard
Yep.
week. Pretty standard week. So yeah, at least there's some cool happenings this week. Cool news to talk about, all sorts. So just like always, I'm sure we'll get through it. Resident Evil 4 came out today. Which is
Evil
awesome.
4.
We're gonna talk about that later on.
Yes.
And
hmm
yeah, so we're just gonna roll on through. Anything happen of interest to anyone this week? Anything notable?
I went to
Not
Reddit.
really, no.
Charlie,
Oh, waiting, no.
you got made to exercise, I see.
Yes.
That's quite funny. I saw the video. Wasn't standing.
Oh, yes. The video of me exercising and eating a carrot as well.
Yes.
Oh, nice. I didn't get to see that.
No,
It's in
sorry,
the,
Alexis.
Oh, I
Isn't-
can. I'll
It doesn't
send
like
it
you.
to you. Bob.
He doesn't like you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, no worries.
No, all good. Anything of note happened to you, Roxas, or just the usual? Aside from all
I
hell
think-
breaking loose.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much that. Yeah,
Nice.
nothing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, all still alive. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Nothing interesting
Yeah.
over here either. So we're just the usual.
And then tomorrow is a Birmingham. Well, it's not a massive one, but it's a small Comic Con. That's gonna be cool.
Oh, you going?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Oh,
awesome.
nice. I've heard about
Nice.
Birmingham Con. It's just way too far for me to bother going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
the main one either, but it's cool.
Well, if you don't get pictures of cool cosplayers for me, we're not friends. No, just kidding. Okay. Well,
Exactly.
on to some fun happenings this week. Something that I thought was interesting and disappointing at the same time. So a couple weeks ago, it was rumored that there was Sonic Origins DLC, which was going to be coming out, and everyone was kind of like, "Oh, what's it gonna be? What games are they gonna add? Are they gonna add 3D Blast? Are they gonna add more Genesis games? What's going on?" And so today, or was it today? It might have been yesterday. We finally get the announcement that Sonic Origins is getting its DLC, and it's getting 12 Game Gear games, which
Okay.
is like,
Wow.
bruh. And then the cool part is they've added Amy Rose as a playable character
Oh.
in all the OG games. Like they actually
That's
gave it like a
new.
moveset and stuff. So
That's actually really cool.
that is pretty cool. However, why the fuck have you given us 12 Game Gear titles?
Yeah.
It's,
I think it would have made sense to have both the Game Gear and Genesis Mega Drive ones.
or just like actually good Sonic games. So here's the full list of games. So coming to the Sonic Origins collection, you've got Tails, you've got Tails' Adventures, you've got Sonic 2 and Sonic 1 Game Gear version, you've got Sonic Triple Trouble,
Oh,
got-
the original.
you've got the Game Gear versions of Spinball and Mean Bean Machine,
I
Sonic
wish we got
Yeah.
both of
Blast.
the versions.
Sonic Blast and Sonic Chaos, Sonic Drift 1 and 2.
Right.
Oh, cool.
And then fucking Sonic Labyrinth.
Oh
Cool.
God, no. Oh no.
Oh,
And
no.
then fucking Sonic Labyrinth.
I like going at 2 miles an hour.
So if we really
Yeah.
think about that, we've got 2 games which have better versions on the Genesis. You've
Yeah.
got 1 game which was remade by a fan and made indefinitely better.
Oh yeah.
And then everything else is shit. So what is the point?
Yeah. Hmm.
It's
That is
A
strange.
super cool collection.
Here's a collection of Sonic's Origins. We're not going to include any of the other games on his Origin console, and now have Game Gear games that nobody wants to play.
To be fair, I do
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
I do like some of the Game Gear games, but I do agree. I do prefer the Mega Drive games overall. Just
It just
more better, more
but,
fun.
but again, the fucking they've released them a million times. Why was it so difficult to get the Genesis version of Spinball
Yeah.
and Mean Bean Machine, and
Like, I
even
don't
3D
understand.
Blast?
I don't understand why, if we're getting Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, why we wouldn't get the Mega Drive version.
Same thing with Spinball though.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and with Spinball, you're right. Yes.
And then also, that means that 3D Blast is being left out. That's an OG
Yeah.
Sonic adventure. That's his first 3D game. That's in the fucking bin.
Yeah.
So
3D
Yeah.
Blast is another classic, and I do miss that.
that game is heavily underrated. Everyone hates that game. I think that game's actually really fun to play.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
As soon as you stop being ass at the game and you actually figure out how to control it, it's actually quite fun.
But Kieran, it not 2D and not hold right to
Oh my
get
god,
gold.
but I don't understand the controls. I don't get it. Yeah.
Hang on a second, everyone. I will be right back.
Yeah.
I'm being
Okay.
called for.
Yeah, so it's for context, Roxas. I don't know if you
Okay.
how much you know.
Yeah.
But basically,
Nah.
you know what the Game Gear is at least, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
A portable
So
console released
was-
in the
yeah.
90s.
it was the big fuck off giant stupid fucking handheld that Sega had that took 6 AA batteries just to use it. It was insane.
Jeez.
And most of the games on it were not very good
Mhm.
because it was, an early portable game. And basically, on the Genesis or the Mega Drive, which was obviously Sega's first major console, right? You had all of the Sonic
Right.
games that everybody knows about. And then you've got games
Right.
like Sonic Spinball, which is like a platforming pinball game. It was actually quite fun.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You've got Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which obviously you know what Puyo Puyo is, don't you?
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
it,
yeah,
it-
yeah.
It was just Sonic reskinned Puyo Puyo, and it was also very good. Now, those existed on the Genesis, which were obviously 16-bit console games. And
Hello,
on the
I'm back.
Game Gear, you had bad 8-bit versions of both of those games. And that is what they're releasing in this big Sonic collection instead of the
Right.
originals that are just better.
Yeah. Exactly. That does seem a bit strange.
It is. It's a bit weird, and it's given me the big sad because now that I know these are the games that are coming, there's definitely going to be achievements
Yeah.
for all of them, and like I said,
Mhm.
some of the games on the Game
Yeah,
Gear are bad. Like we're talking really
Wait,
bad.
really?
Like Sonic
which,
Labyrinth is
whi-
bad.
Oh,
Right?
Kieran, you explain-
I've
you
never
explain it
played
to,
Sonic Labyrinth before.
It's bad. You'd never want to touch it.
You're
But
telling Roxas about
Oh.
the Game Gear games and
Yeah.
16-bit ones.
the reason that it depresses me is I have 100% Steam achievements because I like doing that with games I like. Obviously, when
Yeah.
the DLC comes out, there's going to be a bunch of new achievements added. And there's going to be achievements for the absolutely terrible Sonic games that are being added. And I'm just not going to want to 100% it again.
Yeah, you're right. Actually. I mean,
So
Yes.
yeah, I'm gonna
Absolutely.
lose my 100%, and then I won't want to get it back because of bad video games.
Yeah, because with 100%ing
Mhm.
it before, you were quite happy to because it was just a 16
was actually fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the classics, CD,
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. And then obviously now if you have to do an achievement that's beat Sonic Labyrinth, that's not going to be a fun one to
Good
100%.
lord, I don't want to fucking touch Sonic Labyrinth. I just don't want to touch it. I don't know why they even.
weird.
Um,
Right.
I didn't
In the-
bother.
Like if I find it neat, like it's nice to do that, but it'd be cool if they like either also added their other 16-bit games, as you said, 3D Blast and Sonic Spinball and Mean Bean Machine.
yeah.
But like,
Mhm.
or what if they like did something cool and like they had the fan Triple Trouble remake, or they themselves did remakes of the other Game Gear games that
They-
were like
yeah.
better.
Like again, sure, you can argue it's cool, right? But these are games that should be added last.
I
If you're
agree, yeah.
picking Sonic games to
agree.
add to an Origins collection, like OGs, these are games that should be coming last.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Especially
Alright,
if they're like so terrible to play.
Mm.
so what are your two like general consensus on the 16-bit versus the 8-bit games? Mine is that I do like the 8-bit ones, but well, not all of them.
Again,
Some
there's
them
only
are
like
pretty
2 of
bad.
them that are good. One in basically Sonic 1 and 2 Game Gear version are like playable.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
And then that's basically it.
Whereas like the 16-bit ones for the most part they're all
They're just
good.
actually
I
good
actually
games.
Can't,
Yeah.
I can't think of one that's
Mm.
bad. Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like it's
no,
going to be
Yeah,
hard to
same.
play the original Triple Trouble now as well. Because
Yeah,
of the
sure.
remake. Like it's just
Mhm.
going to be
Yeah.
bizarre. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a
So it's
little
like-
disappointing.
Sega have worked with Sonic fans before to put that like they had Christian Whitehead's Sonic 1 and 2, so surely they could get like the other person's Triple Trouble as well.
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
why-
agree that
Sorry,
they
Flav,
should have
sorry,
just.
Roxas.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. As remade the games in like more modern style instead of like being one if they were so bad.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it really be like that. I mean,
Like,
the good news is at least it's not all bad because, like you said, that the whole Amy Rose DLC thing is kind of really cool because that's a brand new
That's good.
character with a brand new
Yeah.
moveset that will have brand new physics. So
That
it
to
probably
me-
will be new. I don't think they're gonna
Okay.
change anything else. Like I don't think you're gonna get a fucking Amy route in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Although it would be cool.
Okay.
I guess it would be cool if Amy could choose in
Rubber
3 and
Blast.
Knuckles if she could go through Knuckles or carry on as Sonic's path and just pick one of the
That would be
two.
pretty cool.
I think that would be cool. That'd be a unique way
Yeah.
to play 3 and K.
Yeah, I agree.
So again, there's that. At least that's good, and it's the best Amy design, so we'd stand that.
I agree. I'm
Continuously.
glad they used that design.
So
Well,
there's some
Yeah,
good at
guess
least.
what? Yeah,
For
I
me-
mean, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
them adding Amy was such an amazing thing, and with the like hammer moveset and stuff that, for me at least, this collection went from being like, oh, another like decent collection of Sonic games, or bad or good or whatever, mostly good, I think, not bad at all. But that has gone from that to like, for me, this will be the definitive way to now.
Yeah,
play
it
Sonic
now
3,
has
1, 2,
something
3. Like,
over
players-
other collections and releases.
Like,
Yeah, because now,
Yeah,
like obviously you could mod or whatever, but now I can officially just run through all of the like 1, 2 CD and 3 and Knuckles as Amy and Knuckles, and I think that's amazing. So I look forward to that.
that would be fun.
What were you gonna say, Roxas?
I was gonna say that we don't know how bad the Game Gear games will be. Maybe they have remastered them in some points.
No,
some-
they showed
no.
they showed the collection of games, and it's all of the originals.
Okay, one to one
Emulated pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
emulated, right? Okay, then rip.
Imagine if they went like crazy and they're like, here's Sonic R, here's Sonic the Fighters and stuff like
No, have Game Gear games instead for some reason.
Yeah, you're right. That is a bit strange.
Hmm.
that. Because then it would literally be better than every previous collection we've ever had. Because
Yep.
those had R and the Fighters and yeah.
Hmm.
That'd be like a celebration of every classic Sonic game. Just
I
having all
know.
of them on.
I know that would actually be
Yeah.
quite cool, but
As
You
well
know.
to make a joke about them adding Sonic Extreme or Sonic Jam, you know, the
Yeah.
the collection of the hub world and then
Mm.
the game that got cancelled.
Yeah.
would still be
So
cool.
dumb.
But oh well.
Yeah, I mean, isn't there more DLC planned, or is that it?
I don't know. I don't think so. It would be
Okay.
weird
Right.
because they're like they did with Sonic Mania. They're reselling it as a new game, like the plus version of the game, or giving the
Oh.
people that own it like an upgrade option. So
Oh,
I don't
true.
know. I think if it's a brand new game, they can't really do that twice.
True, yeah, they can't. So this could be the last thing they do
Yeah,
for the
which is
Origin
what
thing.
makes it so
Yeah.
just. Yeah, it makes it so weird.
Yeah, that is kind of unfair. Unfortunate.
Oh well. Well, do you know,
Yeah.
speaking of handheld consoles, Roxas, I think you had something to bring to the table this week, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. Because yeah, I don't know retro games as much as you two do with, the Genesis, Mega Drive, and everything. So, yeah, so I've decided I want to get like one of those retroed, like one of those retro hand consoles. But yeah, because I mean, I could have gone with like an original one, but then, like, for example, I wanted to buy a Game Boy Color, but then
Yeah.
obviously the lights aren't, you can only play that game in the sun. It's only limited to Game Boy cartridges which have a battery. So I figured I should actually get, I
Something
should
that
get,
emulates
actually
is
get,
better.
yes, that's it, yeah. So I've been looking around and I've seen they've actually got some cool consoles. They've got like the Retroid Pocket, the Ambernick, the Mayo Poyo one.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them
yeah.
floating around.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get the Ambernick RG35353V,
Nice.
which apparently is, yeah, it looks very close to the Game Boy Color in size, and
Yeah, I can see the pictures
yeah.
you sent. The pictures you sent. That actually
Yeah.
does look quite cool.
Yeah,
the
which
only
is
thing I find
quite cool.
weird is the fact that it's got dual analogs on it. That seems
Mhm.
very, very weird.
I know. I didn't really want to get them at first, but apparently it can play PlayStation 1 games
What the
and
hell?
PSP games, so it
Okay, fair
might be good.
enough.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah,
Okay,
That sounds
fair.
really good. I hope you enjoy
yeah.
using it.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
The nice thing is this
Sorry, I mean
version
Roxas,
you
I mean
can.
Roxas.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. Call me either one. Okay.
Ah, thank you.
So yeah. So with this device, you can actually dual boot into Android and play all the Android games on top of that,
Oh.
which is
Jesus.
yeah.
Okay.
So
These
so
these
yeah,
custom handhelds are becoming way better
yeah,
than they used to be. I remember they used to be just really shitty
mhm,
bootlegs way back in the
Mhm.
day.
yeah, yeah. So it is
And
pretty
now they're actually
impressive.
really good emulators.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is like one of the best. And apparently they're still actually on the hardware scene. So they're going to be releasing something called the Retroid Pocket Flip, which
All
kind of
right.
looks like it
An
looks like a
advanced
3DS.
SP? Oh no, more like a
Yeah,
3DS. Nice.
yeah. Except I think there is only one screen, but it looks like it'd be the same style. So
Hmm.
I mean, they're getting more and more professional.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
There is, yeah, there is one thing I wanted to ask you guys' opinions on is
Mm.
Hmm.
the one I'm getting. It's going to be coming with 25,000 games preloaded,
Okay.
which I thought
Wow.
was a little bit odd, because I mean,
Yes.
yeah. So is that? Do you think this is piracy? And then if it is, how is it that the gaming companies like Nintendo haven't taken them down? Because
I
they're
Okay.
you're literally
But
paying money for it.
okay,
Yeah.
right. So it's quite complicated, but I do believe
Mhm.
yes, it's 100% pirated.
it
But
Right.
is.
the
However,
reason
here's the
they get
thing.
away with it because
They're in
for
some weird
some
gray area. Is the
yeah, it's a grey
TLDR.
area.
Uh,
That's why
okay.
Nintendo
Right.
can't sue them and win and have all like
Uh,
game
yeah. Because
piracy is a very it's a big point of discussion for many people. Some say it's okay, or like emulation even. Some say it's
Yeah,
wrong.
I mean, at the same time, if you really think about it, think of all of the ROM websites that have been up for decades and are just perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
because they all
that's
sit
true.
in this gray area where they technically can't be touched, and
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It's a very weird one. What's up?
Um,
Yeah.
I agree that is the
Yeah.
case, but how did I know that a couple of them have gone down over time?
Yes, so usually it's I'll tell you why I know it's because they'll be trying to do things like, oh guys, here's our donation page, you can help me keep my website running. As soon as they do that,
Oh.
there's a loophole about them trying to monetize it, and then that's how they get
Uh,
shut down.
Oh, okay.
oh, okay.
As long as they're it's weird because you say out loud, you say as long as they're not making money, ROM's websites are fine. But then you think, well, how does the hardware not get caught if they're making money
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
making their
Exactly.
own hardware. So
Oh, yes,
it's just it's a whole circuit of gray areas and loopholes and weaving around everything as tightly as possible, and that's why
Yep.
it's so bizarre to talk about because you have to really know
Yeah.
like the actual details of all the laws and stuff to make stuff like this that
Mm.
can
Yeah.
actually stay up because it
Yeah.
really is just a mastery of knowing how to dodge every minor thing on like the smallest points.
Law student
Yeah.
makes
Which is
the ROM website and then makes the donation page. Oh no.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
yeah.
no,
Okay,
you've reminded me of
very
that
interesting.
story where Sony, someone basically made a hardware that had a shit ton of PlayStation games on them, and Sony took them to court, and Sony lost.
That's- Wait, what? Wow.
Yeah, because I think like Kieran was saying, it was to do with like the fact they made the hardware. I can't
Right.
remember
It's
exactly, but
way
that was
more
a long time
it
ago.
is way more
Yeah.
complicated than that, but because like I said, it's just a matter of
Mhm.
the fine details. But that's kind of like a loose summary of how it happens. There really
Right.
are these kind of small things that these companies use to get around it. And that's basically
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, Nintendo goes, after fan projects and just shuts them down. But then
Hmm.
this company that actually makes money is like completely fine, which is I find quite funny.
Yeah,
But
it's again that's a different issue because that's
Mhm.
it's copyright on the consoles, but it's also not. Whereas when you make a fan creation, you're using an IP that's copyrighted. It really is.
yeah,
It's so
complicated.
hyper
Yeah.
specific. Like, because here's the thing, right?
Right.
there's a lot of people that go wah wah Nintendo bad because they snipe down all these fan projects, right? But here's the
Right.
problem, and this is a genuine fact. This is how it works in law, right? If you're a
Okay.
company and you start getting lenient with protecting your copyrights, you
Oh,
are
yeah.
you are legally required to defend copyrights that you own. If you don't, so let's say for example someone makes a Mario fan game, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you
Right.
decide, if you're just kind of like, oh, it's harmless, whatever, I'll leave it there, and then that becomes really big, everybody knows about it, and then if somebody else does it and you take that one down, you're in a legal situation where they go, well, you're picking and choosing. You're not actively defending the copyright. You're just being picky. We're not going to let you do that.
Oh,
So,
I
in
see.
order
Oh,
to
wow.
actually like maintain full ownership of the copyright, you have to go after everything. It's literally all or nothing.
Right.
You can't be picky. So that's why these companies will take down everything. Because if you
Oh.
don't, you get
Right.
in a really bad situation where copyright law will suddenly kick your ass and be like, yeah, but you're not actually protecting your copyright properly, so fuck off.
That makes sense now, yeah, because otherwise that means
Yeah.
so they're either in a situation where they take everything down,
Well, they take
or they're
nothing
in a,
down.
or they're in a situation where they keep the really cool good fan games up, but they also keep up all the shit like porn fan
Yes.
games and yeah.
Yeah.
So
Jeez,
that's
yeah,
how that's the fan game angle. You can see the whole, like I
Right.
said, the whole thing is a
Yeah.
minefield of law. That's just
Yeah.
a summary for emulation, all these consoles, ROMs, the whole lot. It just all falls under this bizarre umbrella of legal shit.
Yeah.
Someone cool
It's really
thinking-
convoluted.
Someone call Apollo
Mhm.
Justice.
True.
Someone
True.
what? Yeah.
It's funny there,
Yeah.
Alexis, that you're considering it because of things like, you know, the original Game Boy screens aren't all that crazy, because I follow a lot of
Mhm.
game stores. That's where I
Yeah.
get a lot of my stuff from. And the
Mhm.
amount
Right.
of Game Boys and Game Boy Colors and GBAs they get traded
Yes.
in with modded screens and IPS
Really? Oh.
panels and stuff. I have seen, like, genuinely, this one store, which is the one I follow the most, I think have had in at least like 20 different modded screen Game Boys, and I've not seen them get a vanilla one in yet.
Mhm.
Because that's just what
interesting.
everybody
Right.
does. Everyone mods them to make them more bearable to use nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That
true.
is
So
right.
And
I
again,
guess you
it's
can't really go back.
yeah, but again, it's
Yeah.
not like it's a bad thing, because sure you can go,
Yes.
oh, my Game Boy's not original. Yes, but also fucking have fun playing your Game Boy half of the day if it is original.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck.
Yeah, that's true. Actually. Yeah, because I was looking around with RetroArch with this device that you can actually use a overlay,
Mm.
so you can actually have that. So you can have the exact aspect ratio of the Game Boy Color games, but then you can actually have like a picture that looks, like the Game Boy Color, like
Yeah,
that little like
but
dot and everything.
But again, here's another really funny like aspect of it, right? Is
Mhm.
with these modded consoles, they do change things like the aspect ratio, and once again, that's for the better, because there are so many original Game Boy games that have such horrid screen crunch that you just can't see shit. You just have like
Yeah.
it was especially noticeable in platformers. Like obviously
Mhm.
the really common joke one was Sonic Genesis for the GBA. You can't see shit in that
Right.
game because it's just
game was
screen
horrible.
crunched so bad. So
Horrible
Oh, damn.
game.
like there literally are things that just are fine with, like, again, you change the aspect ratio, that's just a net plus. You're just getting a better
Mhm.
experience out of doing that. So we're at that point where
Yeah.
you can have the novelty of having an original, but if you're buying it to actually use, there's so many better options out there, either
Yeah.
modded systems or these custom ones nowadays. Just
Yeah, yeah.
specifically for handhelds. I don't think the same applies for home consoles. It's mainly an old handheld problem.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. It's actually
There
quite
are
cool.
there are some cool like mods that people do though for any console, really.
Do you remember? Do you ever see the really really big like portable GameCube, where it's like the size of a Game Gear, but you can put your GameCube discs in it and it's got all the buttons and stuff? Those things always I
No.
looked at and I was like, okay, that's quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. They've done that for the PlayStation 2 as well, I think. But those are
Mhm.
cooler.
Let me find a picture of it. I
Like-
remember exactly what I'm talking about, and it was just so funny. It was just this literally giant ass like Game Gear looking
Ah.
thing, but it
Okay.
you just put put GameCubes
Downloading
in
the
it.
homebrew, like getting the homebrew stuff on the Wii, so you can play Mario Kart CTGP. That's more of a modern thing. But the homebrew
Oh,
channel's been
okay.
around for a really long time.
Really? Okay, because I remember I first heard about it when it was, when I did the thing for my Wii homebrew
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah.
Here it is.
So I remember stuff that was like play Shadow and Smash Brawl mod. I mean that's
Oh,
still a
wow.
thing, but it was cool.
Yeah.
I'll put that
Okay,
on
I see
screen,
it.
but look, do you see what I mean? It's just funny.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just
Yep.
actually funny.
They're
It
playing
is
Wind
funny.
Waker.
It seems kind of cool, I guess. But
I know
yeah.
it is quite cool. I probably if I had one, I would probably be very happy. But it's also
Mm.
just very funny at the same time. You can't tell me it's not
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, no, it's definitely is funny because I mean it's perfectly legal as well. It's the GameCube.
Yep, literally.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's anything else to add on funny handheld stuff?
Mm.
No, not right now. But I mean, my thing should come next week, so I should be able to have an experience to see what it's like.
Oh, you've ordered it
Maybe
already, have you?
report back. Yes, yeah, I have.
Oh,
So it
nice.
should be coming next week, this week. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
neat. I didn't actually know
quite
you already
forward to it.
ordered it. Awesome. No, that is
Yeah,
quite cool.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
arcade emulators.
Yeah.
I love because you can't afford to like go to where they have a like a cap of a game that's hard to find. You just emulate it on your PC and have fun. Like recently I've been playing MVC2, CVS2. Yeah, the JoJo's old fighting game. That one's fun. And
Nice.
it's just really cool to experience the arcade versions of like Street Fighter 3 and 2, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, it be like that.
And the arcade emulators having online like Fightcade, letting you play online means you can just connect across the world and fight random people and unless they're free and stuff. It's really cool.
Yep. True. Now, speaking of hardware and gaming hardware and technical
no.
stuff and such, Rux,
Oh, yeah,
you've
I'm back.
once again,
Yeah?
I think you've been following this a lot closer than I have. I just kind of know it's happening, but I don't really know any of the details. Why do
Yeah.
games keep blowing up NVIDIA GPUs?
Oh, right. Okay. So this story, it's from, can you believe it or not, the Diablo 4 closed beta. They've been, I think, 2 cutscenes that pretty much cause the NVIDIA GPUs, I think specifically the Gigabyte brand, it might also be Asus, but they basically cause the screen to go black, fans 100%, and the GPUs basically brick.
Yeah.
Is
I
there?
guess.
Do you know the technical reason as to why that's happening? Like, what the fuck is going wrong?
I actually don't know, but I think it might be maybe something to do with NVIDIA themselves because, the 3000 series, it happened, during COVID when there was a big shortage of GPUs. So my guess, and also I've done the research, it might be because they cut shortcuts, to auto-produce the CPUs.
Right.
GPUs.
So it's just
But-
them getting a little bit lazy because they're trying to get more
Yeah.
numbers out.
Yes, that's my guess.
Right.
And then and Blizzard, they just exposed the problem. Like they should have done tests themselves, but I don't think they're completely responsible.
Well, here's
for
the thing,
GPUs.
right? How does that get past QA?
Yeah, I know.
Very true.
How do they not realize if it's
Yeah.
making things explode?
Yeah, I'm guessing they've just left the frame rate. They didn't limit the frame rate. And yes, Charlie.
Would they? If you, so I know it's been Nvidia, but if you're AMD, are you alright, or were you also
Yeah.
exploded?
No. Apparently you're right. So here's the thing, right? This was only a closed beta, but then the open beta, I think, is going to happen next week. So we might actually get a lot more reports now, and a lot more GPUs can try it out. So we can probably get more to the bottom of this. But I think this is just literally a new world situation. So I think the AMD GPU should be fine.
Well, yeah,
Because
because this is the second time it's happened. You mentioned that it was Amazon's New World game or whatever the fuck it was called, and it was happening with that game as well, wasn't it? This isn't the first time.
It was.
I just
Yep.
can't believe we've had a situation where this has happened to lots of people and nothing's been. I mean, they're probably looking into it, but
Nah, it's a
like,
company
they-
moment. That's an NVIDIA moment.
because they didn't do anything
Yeah.
about it beforehand, and then they didn't when it was happening, and so hopefully at least after everyone's GPUs have exploded, they were like, all right, we'll do something to fix this, and you'll get a free
Yeah.
replacement.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Apparently, Gigabyte's not really good with warranties and returns, so I'm
Oh,
not quite
great.
sure.
Don't buy
Oh,
a
That's,
great.
yeah,
gigabyte
yeah,
fucking GPU, Christ.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
bruh.
So we'll have to once again see what happens. But yeah, I guess
Oh
it's
my
just a
god.
warning. Like if you have a 3080 Ti or a 3000 series NVIDIA, just be careful. Maybe
Yeah.
don't play right away. Just
Yeah, I
wait
have
to
I
see
have a
what
3080.
happens.
I'm glad I'm not into Diablo.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, my
glad I'm
friend
not into
I mean,
Diablo.
my
yeah.
friend actually asked me to download and play Diablo with him, and at first I was like, oh yeah, but then I heard about this like a day later, and I was like, okay, maybe not. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm AMD, so I should be fine, but even then, I'm just really cautious.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Everyone
Maybe
out
just give it
there,
a day or two.
everyone
Yeah.
out there watching this, if you use NVIDIA, please do not play Diablo 4 and just wait, and then find out if there's a fix for it, and if there's like a free upgrade or replacement, then make sure you get all that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Rux, do you know have Nvidia said anything? Because this is the second time it's happened. So have they actually made a
Yeah.
statement or anything, or are they just pretending it's not their fault?
No.
Oh,
I don't think they have, but it might be also brand related instead of just NVIDIA themselves. Because I think the New World situation, I think the normal NVIDIA branded GPUs weren't having that brick issue. But I could be wrong.
Hmm.
But
That's
so I think
weird.
it might be brand, but we'll have to wait. But yeah, so we should
So,
be expecting
mm,
a statement from Gigabyte.
right.
mm,
So
Mm,
basically, some of
yeah.
the actual manufacturers that take and make their own 3080s and all of that, they're the ones that are just
Yeah.
half-assing it, basically. And like you said, it
Yes.
probably absolutely is to meet demand that they don't have the supply for.
Hmm.
They're definitely just dropping qualities, I think, quality to get the numbers
Yeah.
out there, which is,
that's
Yeah.
horrible.
well, I mean, in the end, realistically, it's going to cause them more problems because if they have to
Yeah.
try and keep up with the sales demand and then also
Yeah.
get people new cards that are blowing up because of them half-assing it, now they need
Yeah.
even more than they originally needed. So, yeah, that is a little bit of a
Exactly.
shot in the foot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It really
It's
is.
like, bruh. I
Yeah.
just
But I'll
why?
have to do more research, but for sure when the open beta happens, I'll be able to get like a much better idea of what's
Did you
going on.
say when was that? Did you say when that was?
I'll get the date right now. Let's see, because I'm sure it
So
was next week, but let me just see.
Nice. We may have a
20,
follow-up as soon as our next episode.
yeah,
so
oh,
both
24th of,
NVIDIA.
yeah,
Wait, sorry,
so
Octopus, yeah.
the open beta will be 24th of March or 26th of March.
Oh,
26th of March. It's
that's
actually
today.
today. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
well, there you go.
yeah,
I'm sure by
So
next week we'll have another update on this.
both
yeah.
Blizzard and NVIDIA were like, oh, okay, this is happening with Diablo. What do? Or
Yeah,
they
I think
weren't.
I actually think they will release a fix. Like they could just limit the frame rate on those cutscenes,
I don't think they have a
and then it'll
choice.
probably be fine. Yeah, yeah, because you can fix a software issue, but you can't really fix a hardware issue right away.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
complicated thing.
that is.
Oh,
Because I
you
mean,
need.
the new
You only need like a engineer, even possibly, to like.
mm,
work it
no,
out, or-
not really. Because I mean, people have said that the fix is you go to a video control panel and you just limit the frame rate.
Oh,
But then
okay.
even that could still be dangerous though, from what I heard. But
Mm.
I'm not too sure. But yeah, they could just limit the game's frame rate, like on the software side.
Yeah,
And
that's.
that'll probably
Yeah,
fix
well, I
it.
mean, you might as well take the safe path. It might piss some people off, but sorry, we're
Yeah.
doing this or we're exploding people. So
Yeah, I'd rather
Yeah.
have limited like
Yeah.
frames and have my fucking GPU explode, PC just be like
Yeah.
dying, and then me having to spend £1,000 on
Yes.
a new GPU.
That's it exactly. So it's a lot safer just to wait and see what happens. But I mean, I guess the only open beta is only a few days, but I'm sure there'll be another open beta later on down the road.
Yeah.
yeah. Sure.
And yeah,
Well, we'll have to see.
hmm,
I think it'll be interesting
that's
to
right.
get an update next week.
Yeah, because
Keep an eye on that
Yeah.
for us, Alexis. I think that'll be entertaining.
okay, cool. Okay, we'll do then. I'll make sure
Excellent.
to go through all the forums and check it out. Yeah.
Perfecto, perfecto.
Cool.
Well,
Yep.
we
Here we
might
go.
as well jump into this next one because I don't think this one will take too much time because it's pretty much just going to be me going, oh my god, this thing is so cool. Basically, Counter-Strike 2 has been officially revealed after
is
us
so cool.
following it. They revealed it. They've shown a a bunch of videos, and they also shipped the beta literally the same day. So Counter-Strike 2 has technically been playable for 2 days, 3 days now. Now, unfortunately, it's RNG waves of invites going out, so obviously I've not gotten to play it yet, and that's very sad. But just from what I've seen and all of the stuff that they're adding, they're doing some really cool stuff with that game. Like,
That's great.
what's nice to know is it's still Counter-Strike. Like, they've not just gone so over the top that it's just a new game. They've basically just given it an engine upgrade and then added a couple new things to mechanical depth, and then that's it. Like, that's pretty much all they've done, and that's actually just perfect, because CSGO is a 10-year-old game already, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And also, the thing that's really, really interesting, and the thing that people are not realizing, because you've got a lot of people that are like, wah, 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 wah. They've changed like 2 things. This isn't worth being a new game. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh my god.
What they don't realize is Source 2 is an engine, and as you could argue as a language, is understood by everyone in Valve. Every single employee in Valve currently now uses Source 2, and that's what they all know. So
Source Filmmaker 2, let's go.
so the thing that's a real benefit is that means that anybody at Valve can now work on CS2 if they want to.
Yeah.
And
That's great.
because obviously, if you have a ton of fresh blood working at Valve, they're going to be taught on Source 2, and they're going to have no fucking clue what's going on in Source 1. So the amount of people that could update that game was hyper limited. So now they're able to get pretty much anyone in, if they're interested, whenever they want, to do big updates for this game, which just means it's going to last so much longer now.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're right. Also,
That is great.
get lots of cool, better stuff, and you can trade your skins up, which is cool. So
Well,
you can...
of course. Do you know, the thing that makes me laugh, I don't remember if we brought it up, I'm sure we must have, but the number of people that are like, but what if my skins, what if I can't use my skins? Those, I'm sorry, but those people were just actually stupid. Because it's a literal multi-billion-dollar, engine for Valve, which just keeps making them so much money. They would genuinely be, it would be business suicide to not have the skins carry over. So the fact that people were actually worried about that is genuinely really funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that video I sent where someone edited it to look like it was just regular CS2 gameplay, but then he suddenly builds a fucking wooden thing?
Yes, I hate you. You're not fun. Die. I shoot you to death.
I spin defuse and win.
No. There is yeah. So there's some cool mechanical features like at the moment one thing that can happen that's kind of bland is smokes aren't basically just a stall that you can do nothing about and you just have to sit there and be like bruh. But now in the new engine, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff like the smokes are actually 3D and volumetric. So they actually interact with the world instead of just go through everything now. So
that's really cool.
That's amazing.
So if you throw smoke in a tunnel, it'll actually expand to fill the entire tunnel instead of just be a big circle in the middle of it randomly.
Oh my god, that is cool.
And also, you can do things like in the corners, like the edges of the smokes, you can shoot bullet holes through that you can actually see. You can make little brief windows to actually peek through them. And also, if somebody throws a grenade into a smoke, it'll temporarily clear it altogether. So they're adding a bunch of really, really small but very interesting things to the game that'll make it a lot more fresh.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
That is very cool.
So, yeah. Lots of cool things happening with Counter-Strike 2. I know it's mostly just a me thing, so it's just going to be me talking about it and going, hey guys, this thing's really cool. But yeah, hopefully the one thing that's actually really good is they've changed the server system. So before, I don't know if you guys know how tick rate works in an online game.
Kinda.
Yeah, so basically
really?
basically you've got the server has ticks, so it can be like 64 ticks, which will be like 1/64th of a second, right? And basically the server can only read inputs within those gaps. So let's say you press a button in between a tick, it will only be
Mhm.
read by the server by the time that that tick is input, right? So even though
Right.
we're
Yes.
talking like 60ths of seconds here, there are a number of occasions where it would actually just blatantly rob people of hits, kills, blah 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 blah. So
Oh yeah.
in
Right.
Source 2 and Counter-Strike 2 now, they call it a sub-tick system. So basically, in reality, it's actually just tickless because the server doesn't need to read ticks for any inputs anymore. Any input you get or you
Well,
make is just immediately read by the server, which is actually nuts. Because not
Okay,
even
no,
not
that's
even new
amazing.
games like Valorant and Overwatch 2 are using tickless. So Valve just
Wow.
casually coming out like, boom, here's a thing.
Valve
Oh, that would be so
is.
useful, actually. Yeah. Then you don't have to blame lag now. It'll be accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually
literally.
really cool. So that means anything like shooting with like, if it got dropped by the server, now it's like you would actually just kill them, or they kill you, or whatever.
The
That's
term they
cool.
used was what you see
Cool.
is what you get, which is actually like a banger.
That's really cool.
Incredible.
I'm very glad and happy they've done that. Gonna be
Yeah,
very fun.
because I heard that Valorant was like a Counter-Strike, but they have superpowers. So at least this way,
Yeah.
Counter-Strike can go back on
Valorant
top.
Valorant is basically if you take Counter Strike and then you make it bang Overwatch, but like only a little bit. It's really cringe.
Ah, right. Interesting.
Valorant.
Right.
It's
I've never
just
played it.
it's just so boring because the
I
reason
like
that Counter
it, like
Strike
with
is so
ILF.
cool. The reason Counter Strike is so
Yeah.
cool
Mhm.
is because it's basically just down to your raw mechanics that make you good. Like you have to have good
Hmm.
tactics or you have to have good aim. That's it.
Hmm.
That's
Like in
all
real
it is.
life.
That's
Yeah.
all it's up to.
Yeah.
Whereas
Like
in Valorant, somebody throws a smoke and then one fucking person does a thing where they put a camera on the other side of the smoke and then they shoot you. Or somebody raises a wall that makes
yeah,
them
like
see
that.
over the smoke and it's like,
Oh
bruh,
gosh.
this is
Yeah.
Yeah.
cringe. And then they have
Because like
ultimates, so I
Hmm.
fire a rocket launcher at the site and kill it. It's just,
you
what do you
kill
mean?
everyone. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
It's
the
silly.
core gameplay is still terrorists versus counter-terrorists, plant the bomb, defuse the bomb. So they're trying to be
Hmm.
Counter Strike, but they're also trying to be Overwatch at the same time, and
Like
it's
Yeah.
so stupid. It doesn't make
I
any
like
sense. It's
That's
a baby's
confusing.
game.
I like I do like Valorant and I find it cool, but at the same time I much rather prefer just playing CS. I just find CS 10 times better personally.
Hmm. Yeah. I would prefer CS as well.
Like all of them are unique or whatever, but I just it is painful sometimes when you're doing well shooting and you I'm gonna defuse
Yeah,
and then
there will. It's
they
like
just ability you to death.
it's the same issue I always had with Fortnite and why I hate that game so much, right? Is because you can be a blatantly better player than someone else and just absolutely out aim them. But if they're stupid and they know how to fucking flick their mouse and press 167 and there's fucking spamming buildings everywhere, all of a
Oh
sudden you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
where the hell are they? And then they shoot you with their bad aim.
Yeah. That does
Yeah.
seem bad.
It's
In
just,
that
it's
case,
not
Kieran,
Imagination.
you
fun.
might Kieran, you might like the Fortnite game mode where they took away building and it's just shoot.
Yeah, but here's the
Nice.
thing, right? The Fortnite doesn't have very fun gunplay because building was part of the game. So when
I
you take that
see.
away, it's just
Uh,
baby game.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just baby
just
game.
it is like very easy to just walk up with a gun and shoot and win in that game.
Yeah.
Like yeah, the mechanic was the advertised mechanic was definitely building.
And again, that's why I always find Counter Strike to be the most fun game because, again, it is just down to whether you're tactically clever or whether you're just genuinely good at aiming a gun. And that was
And
it. That's all it ever came down to.
another cool thing about CS, like you're all the same. You all start off with pistols,
Yep.
and you're all the same character.
hmm.
Maybe you
Exactly.
can change the skin or whatever and the voice line, but other than that, no, it's
Yeah.
literally just who's
And
better
there's
with
and,
this.
and, and there's subsystems that you have to actually think about, like the money that you get and the money that you lose in rounds, and it's simple, but it does all of its simple things as well as possible.
And recoil and maps being designed well. Like I feel like maybe not every map, but most maps when I play them, I don't feel like I have an advantage as either side.
Well, it's like Dust 2 is like the FPS map. Everybody knows Dust 2.
Yes,
It's just,
Yeah.
it's just fact.
because like if you have a game where you make a map where there's a bunch of people at the bottom and then there's a ramp and then the rest of the team's at the top of the ramp. The top of the ramp are gonna have an easier time just shoot down or drop grenade down than the others are gonna have to shoot or throw up.
Hmm.
So
But
CS maps don't do stuff like that, so that's good.
Nope. So yeah, but yeah, so that's just an update. Counter-Strike 2, it's a real thing. It's coming in summer of this year. So
That's good.
that will be very cool.
Yeah.
It's a free upgrade if you own CS:GO, so you don't even have to pay for it. And
Oh,
that's so
I
cool.
assume the game. I'm imagining that the game won't be free to play anymore, because at the moment CS:GO is free to play. And I don't know if CS2 is going to be free to play. I don't know. Maybe it will be. But yeah, you don't
Well-
have to pay anything when the new game comes out if you have CS:GO, so that's cool.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I do have the game.
Wait,
Uh,
is this what about after the game comes out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Because that would mean that after CS2 comes out, you could get CS1 for free, but not CS2.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
'cause-
see.
oh, originally you had to pay for Go, and then it
Yeah.
went free to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, because I bought
Yeah.
Go years ago,
Oh, yeah.
and then
Same.
it became free,
Yeah.
and then you get the little like badge that's like, yeah, you bought the game.
It also puts you into
Yeah.
better matchmaking, though. To be fair, it actually goes deeper than that. You get
Oh,
you can choose to play with people that have only paid for the game, which makes you dodge free-to-play players, which usually means you dodge cheaters. So that's actually good.
Oh.
Yes, that's cool.
That's great.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yes.
Mm.
You
So
can
it's
play
not
with
all bad.
premium people, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, we could just play like all, friends game only.
Yeah,
Try it out sometime.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
That
agree.
would be
It
amazing.
is fun.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of games that have just come out, obviously, like we said at the start, RE4 Remake came out today. I think, Roxas, you've actually played the literal exact same amount as me. You got to the trader,
Really?
yeah?
Yes, the
And then-
merchant. Yeah.
And then
on chapter 2.
did you save it as typewriter and close the game?
Yes. Yeah.
I
to start.
I
Yeah.
did the exact same thing.
That is
Really?
amazing.
Oh my gosh.
You
Oh,
and
that's
me are at
awesome.
the exact same point in the game, so that's actually really funny.
Oh,
That means we'll talk
That
about
is
all the same things.
very,
Yeah, that's
funny.
great actually.
So yeah,
Great.
so RE4 Remake is out, and do you know, Rock, I want your impressions first before I talk. I think that's the best way to do this.
Okay,
You go
cool. Yeah,
first. You
okay.
tell me what you're thinking and everything so far.
Okay.
It's-
Yeah. Okay. So far, it actually seems pretty cool. I like the darker atmosphere, like I said with the demo, and so far it seems pretty good. Okay, some of the maps I've noticed they've been one-to-one to the Resident Evil 4 game because I had played that game like a few times and recently, so I did recognize some of it, and some of the stuff I didn't recognize.
Yes, you're completely
yeah,
right.
and then-
Some layouts
yeah.
are identical, and then you'll go to the next part and it's different. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes,
Yes.
that is right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I thought it was very interesting that the game recommended hardcore mode for me, because
Yeah.
they said if you played Resident Evil 4, so obviously I'm
Yes.
playing the game in hardcore mode now.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Nice. Everyone can, yeah, because that's what they said. I played the game before, so might as well try it out. So, yeah, so everything's obviously a lot harder. Which is kind of more like the traditional Resident Evil games. If they hit you,
Yes.
then
Yeah.
you're in trouble. Yeah,
Yeah.
instead of it being like an action game.
Yeah. That's good.
And then I did notice that the merchant didn't sound the way he used to sound. His voice
It is
a little
a
bit
different
weird.
voice actor. Yes, it's a different.
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. Yes. And then the story is a little bit different. Like, I don't remember how Leon gets infected with the virus, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't that big guy that did it. It might have been someone else. But
No, so in the original RE4, the big guy knocks him out and then takes him to
Yes.
oh, what the fuck is it? What's the priest's name? You know, like the main
yes,
dude. It takes him
yeah,
to him
that
and then
guy.
he does it. But
Yes, that's right.
in the remake, Big Hoss does it instead.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed was different so far. But yeah, so far my
Uh-oh. No, that's an
pace of the original
internet
game.
moment. Sorry, you cut out for
Yeah.
a minute, Rox. Is she still there?
Oh, no, my bad. Yeah, I'm still here.
Give us your,
Okay.
your thoughts again. Sorry, you cut out.
Okay, so alright. So my thoughts are, I actually like it. I like the dark atmosphere, and I just hope they'll add more depth and more interesting points of the story. So I'm not just replaying the same exact game, but
I
just with
agree.
better graphics and model. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's my verdict.
So here we go.
Yeah.
So here we go. Here's where it gets fun. So I
Okay.
played the exact same amount of you as you did. I think it took me about 90 minutes to get to that point. I played about 90 minutes ish.
Right. Okay.
And
Um,
I noticed at the exact same point and during the exact same gameplay loop, I started getting bored.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like,
Uh-oh.
oh god, this is literally RE4 again. And it was, and it's when I was, you know, the spot with the blue medallions, and you walk around and you shoot them.
Yes.
It was when
Yes.
I
Right.
got there, and and it's when it reminded me that when you play RE4, there are points in the game where you just run around, you kill a few Ganados, and then you just start looking for shit. And because I'm the kind of
Right.
person that I don't like missing anything, I spent
Right.
so long in specific areas just looking for stuff. And it was at that
Uh,
point that I just realized I'm just like, I'm getting bored again.
Uh-oh.
And
oh
I was
no.
like, oh
Uh-oh.
man. And it's making me realize that that's just a core part of RE4 that's not going to change. Now, the good news is fighting things in the combat was a lot more fun. So I think this time I will probably end up actually playing it to the end. But I 100%, whilst being very excited for this game, during that period of the game, I was feeling exactly the same as when I play the original, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
And do
You
you
did
know,
get that feel.
and do you know what's something
Yeah.
that's really weird that I noticed that felt
Mhm.
weird? Like, it was the same in the original, but I feel like it is something they should have updated for the remake.
Right.
You know when you get to the village, it's where the demo ends, where you have to fight all the guys for a certain amount of time and so on.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you notice how many Ganados were the exact same model?
Uh, I didn't exactly know.
I
I mean,
did.
I think there was
I
some
saw
similar.
about
Yeah.
4 of the exact same dude running at me at one point, and I was just like,
Okay.
Oh,
okay,
geez.
this is a little bit weird.
Oh, okay, that hasn't happened to me, or I didn't really notice.
Yeah,
Are there any like new enemies or like enemies that do the
there's
enemies
a
like act?
brand new mini boss that they
Mhm.
Oh,
added
yes.
that wasn't in the original.
Yeah.
But from
The
what I
bull guy.
remember
Yeah.
from interviews, that is the only new enemy
Okay.
that's been added.
But are the
Um,
regular
uh,
ones like smarter now than they
So
used to be?
yes, so actually, I saw a
Mm.
clip which is cool, and again, this goes down to the combat actually being more interesting and more fun. So I saw a clip this morning, and Roxas, you know the Ganados that throw the hatchets at you.
Yes. Yeah.
So there was somebody doing a clip where they were stood in front of them, just standing still and letting them throw, and the Ganado threw the hatchet, and then they'd use the duck button, so they'd duck under it and it'd miss, right? And
Right.
and after he missed it like that, he then stood up and he waited for him to throw a second one. And this time, the exact same Ganado pretended to throw the hatchet, didn't, and then aimed low and shot him crouched, which I thought was
Wow.
really interesting. I was like, "Whoa, hang on a
Oh, that
minute,
is
Well,
that's some
very
cool
That's impressive.
AI."
Yeah.
So like
Wow.
little details like that, I think are super interesting. Obviously, the parry mechanic makes
Definitely.
things a little bit more fun. I was
Mm.
very happy
Uh,
when the lady lit the bomb and then I shot it in her hand and then she went boom. I was very happy that was still a thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, there's one thing I want to add that I actually liked that they've
mm,
actually updated from the
mm,
original game because I
go.
remember, as you said, the blue medallions.
Yes.
I remember when I completed that and then that was done in the original game. Like that was the only mission that was like that, which I was disappointed in. But now I see in this remake
Did you
that
see
you
the
actually get.
rats?
Yes,
You
you
talking
can.
about
Yeah,
the
you can
rats?
actually. Um, yeah, I think so. But there was like a lot more requests now from the merchant, which I
Yeah,
think was
yeah,
actually great.
like yeah, the
Yeah.
rats was one of them. Did you do that? Because I
Yes.
did that before I saved. I went back and
No,
I killed the rats.
no. I just read it and I was like, cool. You can actually do more missions, and I just saved like that. So I still
Yeah,
need to do that still.
that second mission about killing the rats is literally in the room that you just came from. There's 3 rats in there, and you
Yeah.
just shoot them. And
Okay.
it's like, nice
Awesome.
one.
Nice
Um,
one. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. So that was cool.
Did you kill the chainsaw man? Did you kill the chainsaw guy in the first encounter?
No, I didn't. I just
Oh, I
ran
did.
like I did the demo.
Yeah, no,
Oh, really? Nice.
I spent the ammo to take him down, and I
Nice.
actually got a really special
Nice.
gem. And the gem
Nice.
I've put into a crown that's making it worth like a bajillion, and I'm still waiting to put the gems like to finish it before I sell it.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I
Oh,
only
yeah, I
need one
remember those.
more. I only need, do you have the crown that
If
has like
you
4 gem slots in it, like 2 are round and 2 are square?
No, I was trying. I didn't really look for treasure exactly, but
Alright.
no, I hadn't picked it up.
fair
Yeah.
enough.
What are you
Yeah, you've missed
buying?
it then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a thing that I'm like
What are you
3/4 out
selling?
of completed, and it's currently worth
Mhm.
like 30K, and that's
What?
before it's
That's
complete.
impressive.
So yeah,
that's insane.
it's
Yeah,
quite cool.
that's
It's the
great.
hidden thing about like emptying your inventory at the beginning and getting the SMG and
I don't
is that
know. I
still
didn't test
nothing
that,
going?
but what I did check to see if
Mhm.
the well was open and it was shut. So I am interested.
Hmm.
I'm just assuming because you come back to that spot later. I'm just gonna assume it's just gonna be open then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess so.
Mm,
I can't remember if this one's in the original game or not.
mm.
Hmm.
And then lots of other cool hidden stuff maybe.
Yes. So like I
Yeah.
said, I've been getting everything, making sure I've not missed any items. I've bought the attacher
Yeah.
case upgrade already. It just I
That's
feel like
awesome.
I would probably like the game more if I didn't look for everything, because it's
Hero.
at that point that I
Alright.
just start getting bored.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So for me, I kind of like just like playing it as I go, maybe not
Hmm.
getting everything, which
Hmm.
For
maybe
me,
I might lower the difficulty level to standard. Well, it
yeah.
depends if I keep. I mean, I'm not dying yet, but if it gets too hard, just because I want to kind of like just enjoy the story and not like look for everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. I'm starting to get to that
Yeah.
point mentally where I think I need to start doing that. But
Yeah.
then again, it's just a thing in me. I have to get everything. I hate it if I don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Completely.
I don't really have
That's-
a
yeah.
I don't really have a choice, like, because that's what you do in Resident Evil games is you get everything. And
Kleptomania.
That's
4
true.
is called
They
Resident
should-
Very
Evil
true.
4, so I mentally play it the same way, but unfortunately it's not the same game, is it? So
No.
Something that might
That's-
surprise you too is the a lot of people I remember like saying stuff like, "Oh, the original 4 is the best one. Oh, no tank controls. Oh, easier." And I'm like, bro. Like they'll say like Code Veronica 1, 2, 3 bad, but 4's the best.
yes, I know these people are stupid, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Uh,
they just like a different type of game.
yeah,
The
And
they
original
wanna
Resident Evil.
And that's
They
why
wanna play-
Resident Evil 5 and 6 happened.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
they don't want to play survival horror. They want to play action game like
Alright, go play
DMC.
Devil May
Yeah.
Cry. Let me have my
Yeah,
Resident Evil.
DMC.
You have your Devil May Cry.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then RE7 came out and saved everything.
Yeah. That's great.
No, I can't. I can't just slice them. No.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I think I'm definitely gonna keep playing on.
Any plans for RE9 or we don't know yet?
I don't know. I think because we're actually already cutting it close on time, so maybe we'll save some of that
Oh, yeah.
stuff to next week.
Yeah.
But
Good
I
idea.
just yeah, I'm gonna keep playing Resident Evil 4. I will stick with it this time
Same.
because at least the combat's fun, and it being updated
Good.
helps. It's not annoying to control. So I'll definitely keep playing, and hopefully it gets better.
That's good. Yeah.
We'll just have to see.
Who knows?
Maybe by
Mhm.
next week I'll have beaten it once, and then we'll have another conversation. I don't imagine this will be the last time we talk about RE4. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll just have to see.
Hmm.
I've heard
Sounds good
things
to me.
online. People saying it takes about 21 to 25 hours to beat, is what I've heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
Which is good, because most
That's
RE games
okay.
you beat in like 8 to 10 hours. So
That's actually true. You're right. So hopefully there'll be a lot more content than the original one.
yeah, I agree.
That would be
Hmm.
very, very cool.
So yeah, there's we'll save some more Resident Evil related stuff to next week. I think one thing I'll quickly touch on is I don't know if you saw, but the Mercenaries game mode is delayed by 2 weeks for some random reason.
Yeah, that is weird. I
Not
mean,
sure what that's gonna be.
yeah, they did that with the Quest 2 release. They didn't release Mercenary Mode right away. There was like a delay.
That is weird. Okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly 2 weeks from today, so 2 weeks from release. I don't know. It feels weird. Like
Hmm.
maybe there must just be some really big bug or something that they just can't patch.
Yeah.
They can't figure out, and they just wanted a couple more weeks to try and figure it out or something. Because I don't know, 2 weeks doesn't seem like that big a deal when it comes to releasing a game. So I don't know. It must be that. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Agreed, yeah. We can find out.
I see. Snooping as usual, I see.
True. We'll just completely
Oh,
cut it out,
thank
you're
you. Yeah.
right.
Time is
Okey-dokey.
up.
Yeah. Well, that's about it for this week. That's good because we've got some things to carry over to next week. We'll talk more, I'm sure, about Resident Evil 4. I feel like next week's gonna be a good continuation week because hopefully we'll get some more updates on the NVIDIA stuff. Obviously, you'll have your Anbernic, so we'll hear about that. And
DK
Yeah.
oldies.
more survival horror, more Resident Evil 4. DK Oldies will probably fuck up something else somehow, and I'll bring that up. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes, and we will catch everybody for week 4 sometime next week.
Good night, gentlemen.
So long.
Good night.
Jen.